begins with a mistake. Not a loud one, not something you react to immediately, just a wrong sound where a familiar one should be. Most people hear it at night, not because it only happens at night, but because that's when houses speak the clearest. Pipes cool, walls settle, floors remember weight. That's when the whisper comes, from below, from the basement. It says your name, almost. One syllable is off, a vowel stretched too long, a consonant pressed too hard, like someone repeating it after hearing it once through a wall. You don't respond. You assume it's the house. Old buildings make voices when air moves through them. You tell yourself that because the alternative requires you to believe something below you is paying attention. The second time you hear it, you recognize the pattern. Same tone, same distance, same mistake. It doesn't call louder. It doesn't try to correct itself. It just repeats the wrong version, patiently, as if practicing. People describe the sound differently. Some say it's breathy. Some say it's dry, like dust moving. Everyone agrees on one thing. It doesn't echo. Basements echo. This doesn't. It sounds close, no matter where you stand. You start testing it. You move around the house. The whisper always comes from below you. Kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, still below, still wrong. You try ignoring it. That works for a while. Then it changes. It adds pauses. It says your name, then waits, as if expecting confirmation. You feel the urge to answer. Not strongly, just a gentle pressure behind the tongue, like the beginning of speech that hasn't decided what it wants to be yet. You don't answer. That's when people start recording. They want proof. They want reassurance that the sound exists outside their head. They set their phones near the basement door. They press record. The recordings pick it up, clearer than the ear does. On playback, the whisper is closer. Too close, not distant, not below, right against the microphone. It says the name again, still wrong, but less wrong than before. One recording includes something else, a faint second sound, not speech, movement, slow, measured, like something shifting its weight on concrete. People go down to the basement because curiosity is easier than fear stretched over time. They bring lights. They bring someone else if they can. The basement is always empty, normal, boxes, old furniture, dust. No source, no cold spots, no smell. The silence down there feels intentional, not peaceful, restrained, like something holding its breath. When they go back upstairs, the whisper returns. It resumes practice. The mistake grows smaller. Some people test it further. They say their own name out loud. They exaggerate it. They slow it down. The whisper listens, then tries again. Closer, better. That's when it becomes clear. It's not calling you, it's learning you. Children hear it sooner. They don't dismiss it as easily. They ask questions adults don't want to answer.
Why does the floor know me? Parents laugh. Parents shouldn't laugh. Children describe the whisper as friendly, not kind. Friendly, interested. One child said it sounded like someone smiling wrong. Another said it sounded like someone wearing his name to see if it fit. Children stopped going near the basement, not out of fear, out of instinct. They say the whisper doesn't like being ignored by them. Adults feel shame instead, embarrassment, as if being afraid of a basement is childish. So they force themselves to go down there again.
Nothing changes. But afterward, the whisper improves. It begins saying the name without pauses, smoothly, confidently, almost right. Some people notice a new detail. The whisper doesn't say the name when guests are over. It waits. It listens. It only practices when the house belongs to one person again. Privacy matters to it. One man left his recorder running overnight. 8 hours of silence. Then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the whisper speaks. It says his name perfectly. No mistake. No hesitation. Then it says something else. Not a word. A sound that resembles a breath taken with a mouth that isn't used to breathing. After that night, the whisper never repeats the name. It doesn't need to. It has it now. People report new experiences. Standing near the basement door, they feel pressure in their chest, not fear, recognition, as if something on the other side is aware of their presence before they are. One woman describes the feeling of being addressed without sound. It felt like being remembered. She moved out 2 weeks later. The whisper followed. Not audibly, but she felt it in quiet rooms, in pauses, in moments when her thoughts stopped. She never heard her name again. She didn't need to. She knew it was correct. Another man ignored the whisper for years. He aged. The house aged with him. The whisper never rushed. It stayed wrong on purpose, waiting for something else to change. One night, after a long illness, he heard it again. Perfect, warm, exactly how his mother used to say it. He cried, not from fear, from relief. Neighbors reported lights on in the basement all night. In the morning, the house was empty. No sign of struggle, no recording, just the basement door left slightly open. The recorder found later contained only one sound: footsteps coming up the stairs, slow, careful, stopping at the top, as if deciding where to go next. Experts tried explaining it.
Acoustics, subconscious pattern recognition, auditory pareidolia. None of that explains why the whisper adapts, why it improves, why it waits, or why it stops entirely once it gets it right. The most disturbing theory came from a linguist who studied the recordings. She noticed something subtle. The whisper didn't just learn pronunciation. It learned cadence, emotion, context. The name was never said the same way twice. It wasn't copying. It was understanding. It wasn't learning how to say the name, she said. It was learning when. People began paying attention to older houses, houses with basements older than their occupants, places where many names had been spoken above over many years. Those basements are quiet. They don't practice anymore. They don't need to. They already know enough. If you live in a house where the basement whispers, there is still time. As long as it says your name wrong, you are still ahead of it. As long as it practices, it hasn't finished. The danger isn't the whisper. The danger is the silence that comes after. Because once the basement knows your name, it no longer needs to call you. It already knows exactly where you are.